We've all heard these uplifting stories about people losing their jobs, then starting a new career, doing something not that is lucrative necessarily, but something that they love. Brad Karsh is president and founder of JobBound. He joins me now. Brad, before we talk about this, I want you to watch this remarkable story about a guy named Andy Lunsford. Then I'm going to ask you to point out if people like Andy are smart, lucky, or dumb. Listen to this. After losing his business and declaring personal bankruptcy, Andy popped in an opera CD one day. It changed his life. Here's Alina Cho with his story.
Call him the accidental tenor. Hard to believe just a few years ago, Andy Lunsford was selling granite countertops. When the economy went south, so did his business.
You feel the weight of the world on your shoulders at that time, and I think I was just looking for anything that could lighten the load. So I had the CD on my desktop, and I put it into my CD player, and I turned it on, and I just shut my eyes, and I just tried to breathe and relax and listen, and it just started getting interesting.
Then it got really interesting.
And then I just found myself singing out to it, and I found out I could sing loud and I could sing high, and and I had no idea I could do that.
Neither did his wife.
I did kind of turn my ear a little more to listen, and I thought, he can really hit those high notes. He can sing louder than I can.
So Andy Lunsford, just shy of age 30, took a chance. He applied to opera schools, and to his surprise,
we got scholarships everywhere. There were schools fighting over me a little bit, and it was...
How'd that feel?
Oh, great. Validating, of course.
He settled on Indiana University's Jacobs School of Music, one of the best in the world, and uprooted his family, moving from suburban Denver to Bloomington, Indiana, where the Lunsfords live on food stamps. So this 31-year-old can focus full-time on his craft.
It's an amazing instrument. It's like Stradivarius, you know?
A star student who recently traveled to Los Angeles to perform for real stars like Harrison Ford. The dean says Lunsford's story is as unique as his voice.
You say you know it when you hear it.
Yeah.
It's sort of chilling, isn't it?
It is. Well, you get goosebumps, your feet tap, people hold hands. When you watch an audience, you can tell whether they're being moved or not.
And Andy has that.
He's got that.
Even though some might ask,
a career in opera? Is he nuts?
Probably. Is there ever a good time to start a career in opera?
Alina Cho, CNN, Bloomington, Indiana.
I love that story. Brad Karsh, he's the founder of JobBound and the author of How to Say It on Your Resume. Brad, our tenor, smart, lucky, or dumb?
I'm going to call him lucky with a dash of smart in him because it worked out. But lucky in the sense that he had this extraordinary talent to do something that obviously is in high demand. And I say lucky as well because I don't want people out there thinking, oh my gosh, I love baseball. I should give it all up and try out for the Chicago Cubs. You have to have that innate talent. And in some ways, I relate it to the advice I give entrepreneurs. So when you're thinking about making a decision like this, think about the fact that there are going to be all sorts of risks. You have to measure those risks. It is a high-risk decision. But if you are passionate about it, and if you feel strongly enough about it, and you're willing to take those risks, go for it.
Brad, I hate these stories because I find it inspirational. I love that guy, but I hate it because when we air it, people say, you know what, if he can do it, I can do it. The opportunity cost right now, today, for leaving your job and retraining into another job are, in my opinion, lower than they've been in 15 or 20 years, because it's not like you're, in many cases, giving up some great paying job to go to learn opera. Is this a good time, disregarding what you're doing, is it a good time to reinvent yourself for your next career?
I really do think it is, and I agree with you, Allie, primarily because the job market is what it is, and especially for people who are in jobs that are, if you will, beneath where they feel they should be on a pay grade or on a ability grade, or if you're unemployed, now is the time to think about this stuff, because we know that the job market still isn't great, but we know it's getting better. And if you think, hey, I'm going to invest a year or 2 or 18 months, well, let's think about it. A year or 2 or 18 months from now, the job market is much more likely to be better. And if you're going to reemerge then, you'd probably have a better chance of getting a job.
All right, Andy didn't have to give up a high-paying job for this. Let's talk, and you just said if you're underpaid or underemployed or unemployed, not a bad time. What about if you are not unemployed? What about if you're employed full-time with benefits? What are the most important things you need to think about before you risk it all to pursue your passion in an entirely unrelated field?
Well, one of the things that you're definitely going to want to do is think about, can I do this on the side, if you will? So can I keep my job? Can I keep my benefits? Can I do this at night? Can I do it on the weekends? Or can I go to my employer and say, can you move me to a part-time schedule with benefits? And some employers may want to do that, especially if they're looking to do a few more cuts. They might move you to 4 days a week or 3 days a week, which would allow you to pursue this while keeping your job. I always advise people, the first thing you should think about is, can I keep my job and try and do this on the side?
Brad, always good to talk to you. You've always got such great advice. And frankly, between us, I did like that guy's story. Brad Karsh is the president of Jobbound. He's also the author of How to Say It on Your Resume. People always ask me about how to do their resumes. Brad has a great book with actual resumes in it. It's not theoretical, so you should pick it up. Brad, good to see you.